Henry David Thoreau once said, "It takes two people to speak the truth, one to speak it and another to hear." Here is my truth. I am a survivor of sexual assault while a college student. Mine is a truth shared by 17.7 million American women. And like 90% of those other rape survivors, I knew my attacker. Although I've been frank about overcoming childhood sexual abuse and sexual assault as a young woman, I hope you know it is hard for me to say it every time that I do, and even harder to live with it. The feelings of shame, emotional trauma, and recollection of social isolation and hostility I experienced while on campus because my attacker was well known to many. Survivors of rape are 3 times more likely to suffer from depression, 6 times more likely to suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, 13 more times likely to be addicted to alcohol or abuse it, 26 times more likely to abuse drugs, and 4 times more likely to contemplate suicide. Despite epidemic numbers, culturally, I believe, as a society, we are too tolerant when it comes to sexual violence, which is why it is commonly referred to as a crime of silence, because it is underreported. This is an issue I've made a priority in my life and during my tenure, and perhaps predictably so. When I was running for office, many people told me to stop telling my truth. They said it made people, especially men, uncomfortable, but I did it anyway, and especially in the company of men. And there wasn't a forum or a room that I went into that at the end of that, some young girl or woman would approach me and say that they too were survivors, and they thanked me for empowering them by telling my story. This is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. On April 28th, well, actually April 10th, there will be the annual Walk for Change, sponsored by the Boston Area Rape Crisis Center. I will be the lead walker in that walk. And on April 28th is Take Back the Night. I want to thank my good colleague for his leadership on this issue, which allows survivors such as myself to both take back the day, the night, and our lives. It's important to have women leading the charge on this, but we need allies, and we can't be the only one banging the drum on these issues. I know we won't change policies, culture, programs for issues uniquely and disproportionately impacting women, especially when it comes to domestic and sexual violence, unless and until we engage men in a real way. Councilor Arroyo, you are a son to a mother, a husband to a wife, a brother to sisters, an uncle to nieces. I thank you for your leadership on this issue, for lending your voice. God knows we need it. And I look forward to a day when the offenders are truly held accountable.
Thank you, Councilor Pressley. Chair